Okay, so I'm going to try to do a tutorial on that embellishment book that I made. This is similar to it. This is actually like a mini album that I had made. It's a little different, but this one has like some flip out pages, and I followed a tutorial on YouTube for this, and that's kind of like what I based my embellishment book off of, the one that I did a project share on my first video. So I want to try to make another one. So I'm going to try my best to do a video on how I did it. I'm sure there's other videos where you can figure out like a base book, like, you know, like a plain book to do it, but I'm just going to do like how I did it, kind of like how I did it. And I kind of winged it last time when I made the other one, so I'm going to try to remember my measurements. I wrote some measurements down. So what I used was, you need some cardstock, and this is just like the one from Michael's or Hobby Lobby, like I think it's a 60-pound weight cardstock, the 8.5 by 11. So you need 2 pieces for the outside of the album. Like on this one, it's the white, like that piece, and then you'll use pattern paper like to mat them. But for the outside piece, you need that. And then you're gonna need another piece of that paper for the hinge, like the middle part that holds the pages together. And that piece you need 5 5/8 height by 9.5 inches in length. And then a scoreboard, if you have a scoreboard, and a scoring too. If not, you can use a ruler and something to score the excuse me, something to score the page with. Then you need some chipboard, or you can use like cereal boxes or like something like that. Those are a little thinner, this chipboard. I got this one from Hobby Lobby when they were on clearance, and I think they sell chipboard. Even like in the Cricut brand or like the Silhouette brand, they sell it. If you get a bigger piece, just cut it down to, you need 2 pieces, 6.5 by 6.5, and that's going to be for your outside and the, you know, the front and the back of the book. Then you need a piece which is the spine piece, and this one is a 6 inch by 4 inch by 4 inch. So this one's a smaller, I think this one's only like 3-inch spine. Yeah, this one's like about a 3-inch spine. I did a 4-inch on the other one that I made because that one was like a fatter book, because I put those bags of embellishments, and it kind of makes the book, you know, stick out a little bit more. So I did do the spine bigger. You could do it smaller if you want, but the measurements I'm going to give are going to be for this size, the size that I made the other one. So, which I like it bigger like that, because you can fit, you know, you can fit more stuff in it. So what you're gonna do, oh, and then you need some glue. You can use wet glue. I like to use a double-sided tape. I had some 1/2-inch one, and I like that one better. I had gotten it at Tuesday Morning, but usually when I see them there, they're like $1.99. I grab them, but they haven't had any, so this is all I have on hand. So I might use wet glue, but you can use double-sided tape or like wet glue, like that art glitter glue. I have some of that. So what you're gonna do first is, we're gonna make the hinge. So on the hinge, you're gonna put your piece of cardstock, the one that we cut at 9.5, 5 5/8 by 9.5 inches. You're gonna put the 9.5 inch side on the scoreboard, or if you're just doing it on you know, like just on a self-healing mat, you can do it like that. So you're gonna mark at every 1/2 inch. So, and there's some lady that does mini albums came up with this technique, and I can't think of her name right now. And I don't even know if this is the right way, but this is the way that I did it. It's kind of confusing, so I'll just try to do it as best as I can. So you're gonna score it at every 1/2 inch mark. So like the 1/2 inch, the inch, the 1.5 inch, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5. And there's other ways to do like the hinge, like to put the pages in. And then if you know another way that's easier, then, you know, do whatever way. I do 6 pages. So this book's going to have 6 pages in it. And if you were to want to have less pages in it or more, you have to like adjust your spine. You have to adjust your spine. But like I said, this is about the size that I did the other one that I did in that swap. So I'm just showing you how I did. And I wish I would have wrote the measurements down then, but I didn't. So I'm trying to remember kind of how I did it. And people can reuse, like if you gift this to somebody, they can reuse it as a mini album too. Like they can put pictures in it, or I know it's hard for us to use the stuff that people send us. Okay. So I don't know if you can see the score marks, but they're 1/2 inch score marks. So when you fold this, and some people put the tape on first or the glue, but I'm just going to fold it first so I can kind of show you. So this first tab, this first 1/2 inch tab is going to be the part, is going to be this part right here. This part where the book opens. So each, so that's going to be, on this one that I'm doing, is going to be a 1/2 inch. And then you're going to use 2 1/2 inch to make like a little tab to slide these pages on, to glue the pages. And then in between each page, it's going to be a 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch. You know, this one's different. 1/2 inch. So in order to get that, those tabs, so you leave this one flat, and then you're going to fold the second and the third one to make a little tab. See, so this is that first piece. It's easier to do it when you, this is that first piece. Oh, sorry, it wasn't in frame. This is that first piece that's going to be like the, I guess like the gusset, and then this is going to be the tab where the page goes on, and then this one will leave flat, and then these next two, we'll fold them together and kind of go like that. And once we glue them, they'll stay right now because we're just folding them and there's no glue. So see, there's your first space, the space in the front of the book. Then this is your first page. So let me get in frame. First space, front of the first page. Second space, second page. Third space, third page. So you'll do that all the way down. So first space, first page, second space, second page, third space, third page, and then now fourth space. And let me do the rest of these. And I hope I'm in frame and you can see. And these are really, I like to make these. They're really fun to make. You can decorate it however you want. Okay, so let me make sure I have 6. So this is the first space, first page, second space, second page, third space, third page, fourth space, fourth page, fifth space, fifth page, sixth space, sixth page. And then this will be the space in the back of the book. So, because like on mine, I did like a little pocket. And then this one you do, on this page you do put embellishment, so you need a little bit of space there. And then I did a little pocket and I slid, you don't have to do a pocket, but I slid some stuff in there. Some doilies and some other cut aparts. So anyway, so then when you do this part, you'll need to put double-sided tape on these pieces or glue. So you'll glue these two together, and these two together, these two together, these two together, these two, and these two. So I'll show you how to do one. I'll do one with double-sided tape and I'll do one with glue, and then I'm gonna go and finish the rest of them. And you just try to put it, if it's the 1/2 inch is better because you could just put one piece, but since this is the 1/4 inch, I gotta kind of put 2 pieces. And you can do both. You can do like this one. I'll do, you know, if you want it to be like double, I guess like double the strength or whatever. I don't know if it makes a difference, but you can do wet glue and tape. So then, and it's so much faster with the double-sided tape. That's where I like to use it. So you can see on this one how I glued it, and so that's going to be for the tab to hold your pages. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the video, and I'll do the next ones, and then I'll be right back when I'm done with that. Okay, so I finished the for the middle for the pages. I can't even think of what it's called, but I glued all of them. I used double-sided tape and glue. You want this piece to be like a little stronger because this is the piece that's going to hold all your pages, and like the pages have the embellishments, or if you use it for pictures later. So next what we're going to do is make the outside part of it, the book, the actual book part. So like I said, you need the 8.5 by 11 to 8.5 by 11 pieces of paper, and I already put the tape on there, and I use double-sided tape, or you can use the glue. So you need to put glue or double-sided tape on one of the edges of the paper, because you're going to glue them together and make one long piece, because this is what we're going to wrap around the book. So go ahead and take, and you're doing that on the 8.5 side. You're gluing the two 8.5 sides together. So just line it up as good as you can get it. Okay. And just use your bone folder or your scoring tool to just kind of push it down to make sure it's together. So there's that piece. So you have the seam that's right here in the middle. So on this is the middle piece of the spine of the book. So I put double-sided tape, and like I said, this is you want this to be like your strongest piece, because it's gonna be holding the pages, and the pages hold the embellishments that you're putting in the book. So I would use, if you have double-sided tape and glue, and this is the art glitter glue that I use. It comes in this big bottle. I ordered it off of Amazon, but I transferred it into this little one for when I'm, doing smaller projects. It has a fine tip, so you can glue like if you're making embellishments and stuff like that, you can glue little pieces on. But I would use both on this if you have them. I mean, if not, it's not a big deal. You can just use the glue or the double-sided tape, but just for like extra, security or extra holding. You can use whatever wet glue you use. It doesn't have to be that art glitter glue. That's just one of the ones that I use. But I've used like that, the Timbo, I've used that one before too, and that one works good. So when we glue this on here, we want the spine of the book or this seam to be in the middle of the spine of the book. It doesn't have to be like exact, but we don't want like this seam on the side, because then if we do, when we're opening and closing it, then it can pop open. It won't be as like strong. So just go ahead and put some glue on there. And when you put it on, you want to have at least a 1/2 inch, I would say, on either side. Even if one side's going to be longer than the other, it's fine. But you want to have like a little space. Pull it up so I'm in frame. You want to have a little space on top, because you're going to wrap this paper over the spine. You know what? I'm going to scoot over a little bit, because I was actually more on the side. On this, mine's a little crooked, so I'm going to pull it up, and it's kind of hard doing it while I'm going to move it this way so I can put it straight. So, okay, that's straight. And just press down on it, and then flip it over and just smooth it out, so that way the glue and the tape sticks to the back of that. And that glue, it dries pretty fast. Okay, So that's that piece. So then next, you're going to put the sides on. And for the sides, you want to leave a little gap. Let me grab something. You want to leave a little gap in between the spine and the sides of the book, because if you don't, if you put this too close, when you open the book, it'll tear the paper because it's too tight. So you need room to be able to open the book. So they say you can use like two thicknesses of the chipboard that you're using, but sometimes that's a little too loose for me. No, that's about good. So I don't know, that's about, I don't know if it's a quarter. Yeah, about a quarter of an inch. And you can eyeball it, you don't have to do that. So I would leave about a quarter of an inch gap between each front cover and the spine. I'm sorry, my son's watching YouTube and it's like really loud. I think he thinks I'm being too loud, so he turned it up. So on this one, I put the, Lucas, can you turn it down a little bit? On this one, I put the double-sided tape on here, and I'm also going to put the glue on these too. Because you can kind of, with the glue, the good thing about the glue is that you can move it around. You know, if like how I got it crooked, or how it was on crooked the spine, I could move it around. But the good thing with the double-sided tape is that it dries real fast. You know, it's real quick. So about a quarter of an inch. So you want to line it up as even as you can with the top and the bottom, so that way your book's even. So I think that's about right there. It's about a quarter of an inch. You just press it down and then flip it over and press that piece down, or rub that piece down so it stays. And a little bit will, when it dries, we will kind of bend it to start giving it that book look. So then I'm going to take these off, do the other side. Okay, so make sure all my tape is on there. Okay. Same thing with this one. So try to, I'm going to move it over a little bit so it's closer to me. Try to line it up as even with the top and bottom as you can, and leave about a quarter of an inch. Quarter of an inch gap in between those. And then press those down. And then okay, and then I'll be right back. I'm gonna let that dry for a second. Okay, so once you have your glue dried, we're gonna start folding these over. So you can run your bone folder just across the edge of the book, on the top, the bottom, the top, the bottom. This one's a little off. And then the sides, where you're gonna fold it. And I'm not real great at this next part. So my other book, it kind of came out where you could see, because you want to try to make these corners like mitered. So I'm actually gonna trim these ends down, and you don't it doesn't have to be perfect, but leave about an inch. But I'm going to trim these down. And I'm just trimming this other side. Okay. And then you can start, you'll grab the two pieces and then just, the top piece of the book, and just kind of bend the paper to start training it. You can do it to the other side too. and to the sides. Okay. And I don't know if you can see, there's like a little, where you kind of bent it a little bit. You can see there's a little square. So we need to trim these corners so that way we get that mitered look. So, let's see the easiest way to do it. So when we trim them, just kind of, like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. And if you see that it's still, when you're starting to fold it, that it's still too much, like see, because there I probably still left too much. Like I said, I'm not the best at that. So this one. So mine might not be that good. You might want to look up another video on how to do the, if you search on YouTube like a mitered corners on a mini album, and there might be like a better video explaining it. I've only made a few of these books, so I'm not that great. Okay, so then now what we're gonna do is we're gonna start, so see when we, you see how it's kind of like that, and when you do that, actually, I'm gonna trim these a little bit more, because I think I still left too much of the paper. Okay, just gonna trim this a little bit. Sorry, I'm trying to stay in frame. Okay, so then we're gonna start gluing these sides down. So the same thing, you can either use the wet glue, or you can use double-sided tape. So I'll do one side of each, like I'll do this one on camera, and then I'll do one of these side pieces. But just for the sake of the time of the video, I won't do all sides on camera. But so you just can put some double-sided tape right here on the inside of the chipboard pieces, and I'll probably do both, like tape and glue, and then put a strip of double-sided tape there. And then just when you put this on, the double-sided tape, just run your bone folder over it, just so you know that it's sticking good to it. Okay. So we will do this side. Put a little bit of glue. And there's a lot of good videos here on YouTube for mini albums if you ever are interested in like doing like different pages, like more interactive, I guess they're called. There's a lot of great videos on here how to do it. So what I'm doing is I'm just getting my bone folder and kind of creasing that, just pushing that paper against the chipboard. And then you're just gonna kind of push. It's hard for me to do it right here. Start from the center, the spine, and then work your way. And like I said, with the double-sided tape, see this one kind of creased a little bit, but with the double-sided tape, it sticks faster, but with the glue, you can kind of move it around still. And then just rub your bone folder over it. And then go through these, like on these little cracks, and just kind of gently do the side of your bone folder. And we'll do that in a little bit once we get the other sides glued on. So then I'm going to go ahead and do this other long side off camera, and then I'll come back and do one of these sides with you guys. Okay. So I went ahead and did the other side. So now we're gonna do the side pieces. So on these, to get that clean like corner, you kind of want to push You can do it with your nail. Oh, I'm not even in frame, sorry. You want to kind of push these corners in. See, and this one I didn't do good. This one I did good. This one I didn't do good. I cut too much paper off. So that's what I'm saying, like you have to cut like just the right amount, but I cut too much off, but it's okay. I'm not worried about it. My pattern paper will cover most of that. I'll have like you will see the little corner, but hopefully nobody's going to be looking too close at the corner. So, and these are probably okay. And some people use this tool, your bone folder, because you don't want those corners to be like real pointy. And like I said, I struggle with this piece, with this part of it. I need to brush up on some more videos on how to get it just right. So we'll go ahead and do this side together. So again, put the double-sided tape on the outside. And there's a tool I think that people say that you can buy that helps you do like perfect corners. I have to look it up and see. So go ahead and hold that down. And it doesn't take that long to get this outside. Once you do a couple of them, it doesn't take long to do them, the covers. A little bit of glue. And just use your tool to varnish it. Okay. So there's that side. And I got a little bit of glue, but it doesn't matter. It's going to get covered up by the pattern paper. Let me go ahead and do this other side, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I went ahead and did the other side, and just that one looks really bad. And I guess this one doesn't look that great either. But it's okay. All right, so what you want to do is get your bone folder and just gently run it in there in between the space of the front of the book and the spine on both sides, and you kind of start folding it. And since I left that space, this one folded pretty good, so which is good. So see, that's the beginning of the book. That's the inside, and I think my glue's still kind of drying. So what you need to do next is on that piece that we made for the pages, the binding, that's what it's called, the binding, I forgot earlier. I just put on the back of it, I just put like a strip of double-sided tape or score tape on each little half-inch mark that's going to go down. And on this one, I'll use glue also, just like I said. If you use double-sided tape, try to use the half-inch or use 2 of the 1/4 inch, because you want to have this all filled up. But since I'm using the glue and I don't have the half-inch pieces, I went ahead and just put like a strip in each one. But like I told you before, you don't want this piece to fall out, because this is a piece that's going to hold everything. Yes, we'll go watch it in a little bit. So take all this off, and then we'll add some glue. Wait. Sorry, I'm not in frame, but I'm just putting glue on there anyway. So when you put this one on, you want to leave a little bit of space on the edge of the spine, and then from the top, you kind of want to center it like in the middle of your spine. So you're going to glue it on your spine, because this is where your pages are going to go. So, and you can eyeball it. I mean, if you want to really get it right on, then you can go ahead and like try to measure it, maybe mark it, which I probably should have did that. That wouldn't have been a bad idea. And mine's not perfect, but it's good. It's good enough. And then just get your bone folder and kind of rub in between each one to get that glue to stick. To make sure it's like evened out. And I have a little bit that came out, just kind of wipe that off. And the good thing about this art glitter glue is that it dries clear. Okay, so you want to, if you use wet glue, you want to let that dry for a little bit before you start doing the rest. But that's basically the shell of the book and the binding. So all we're going to do next is we'll start adding the pattern paper. You could put cardstock in here like to mat it, but when we put the pattern paper, it's going to cover all that anyways. And if you want to put like ribbon to close it, now would be the time to put the ribbon. So like on this one I use seam binding, and I just put like some double-sided tape right here on the bottom and stuck it. I didn't go on that far, maybe about an inch far. Or you could use a ribbon, and I might do that on this one, but just put some double-sided tape and then glue it, and maybe put some glue, and it holds pretty good. And then just do it on both sides, just line them up and do it on both sides. So you would want to do that right now before we start the pattern paper. But since these books are the pages that we're gonna make are, I have to figure it out. I have it written down, but I'll have to figure out or you know what, I can just measure these. So the pattern paper is going to be less than 6 inches. About 5 5/8. Actually about 5 1/2. So I think I did this one too. Yeah, about the pages are probably going to be about 5 1/2 by 5 1/2. Yeah, 5 1/2. Say 5 1/2 by 5 1/2. So you can use 6 by 6 paper pad. If you have a 6 by 6 paper pad, you can use that even on the front, because we'll just you know, mat it with this. And on this one, I actually wrapped it with another piece of paper. See how it's, I have like my pattern piece of paper right here, and then this one kind of wraps around. And the reason why I did that is because I didn't, oops, sorry, I didn't leave enough gap when I did my, this gap right here. And so when I opened it, it cracked the paper. So to hide that crack. So if that happens, you can fix it. You know, you can cover it up with a piece of paper. And it closes good now. It's used to being like that. So so anyway, so you can use a 6 by 6 pad on this, so that way there's not so much waste. So we will, I'm going to stop the video now, and then I'm going to probably make another video. So maybe this will be like in 2 parts, maybe 3 parts, where we cut the pattern papers and start making or we'll make our pages, and then we'll cut our pattern papers. I'll show you how I make the pages. But I will post that one in the next couple of days. So if you want to get the stuff to make this one, you can make it. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and I will see y'all on the next video.